The biggest game in Kenya today will be Kenya versus Ghana. Harambee Stars versus the Black Stars of Ghana. How will that game go? At 4 p.m. today at the Kasarani International Stadium, Kenya will be playing Ghana in the second round of the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers that are happening all over the continent. Is Kenya ready to head to the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations? Last week I spoke to the Football Kenya Federation president and they said qualifying for the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations is not a big deal, but the 2026 World Cup is where we are supposed to be. Food for thought? I think so too. So since 2014 we have not made it to the Africa Cup of Nations. Will this be the year that Kenya makes it to the Africa Cup of Nations? We lost our first match to Sierra Leone 2-1. Ghana is our second match. And in the months of November, we'll be having two matches in home to Ethiopia and away to Ethiopia. So, the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations are up and running, and Sebastian Migne, the Kenyan coach, is also confident that Kenya can go ahead and win this match. Joining me here on set is a new one, but also a river here on Y254, Fred Openda. The first question I have for you, before you talk about the Kenya versus Ghana, and I asked everyone here on set today was, what do you think of the UEFA Nations League?
Okay, frankly speaking, this is just another competition which has been brought in to maybe have a trophy somewhere. But it's a good move for Europe. I think it will replace a lot of friendlies that we have been having around, which didn't have a price. So it comes in to bring in a prize for the 55 nations that will be competing in this Nations League. So I think it's a good move, and it will really maybe help develop the European football, because maybe in the past people have the coaches have maybe been bringing in the fringe players maybe to participate in the friendlies, but now it's a competition that has a prize. So yes, I wonder that everyone here on this set today is all about it's good for the UEFA Nations League. It's also coming. So I'll be the devil's advocate. The good thing I'm the one asking the question. We'll be going on with that. Ken Matiba is also here with us today. We're going to discuss the Kenya versus Harambee Stars, and also Tupac Wawere is also here, and Xavier Mulak. It's a big day for us as Kenya is playing Black Stars of Ghana. Just a pointer in history. The first time these two teams met, the Black Stars of Ghana beat Kenya 13-2. It was the Independence Cup back in 1964, and Mzee Jomo Kenyatta could not stay in the pitch for the 90 minutes. He left halfway through the game with one phrase that stuck with the people up to today. Kipichono Keino ako wapi akimbiana. That's what the first and the founding father of Kenya said when these teams met back in 1964. And the Black Stars of Ghana beat us 13-2. But today we are meeting on an Africa Cup of Nations qualifier. Let me start with you, Xavier. What do you think of Kenya versus Ghana this afternoon? Is Kenya ready to go against Ghana?
No, I don't think we are ready.
Why are you saying that?
Because the preparation, if you look at the squad, some of the players are from the Gormaya team. This is a team where the players have been playing a lot of matches in August. Someone like Kahata was just from injury the last 2 weeks, so he's not fully fit. But the problem for Kenya is it has always been the striking, bagging goals. We don't have that. We have a striker, but we don't have the players who can bring the ball to
score
the
goals.
Yeah. So let's hope Kahata will be doing some service to us today, providing the assist to Olunga, and at least for once maybe Were can have some luck in the national team, because he has been having a bad run when it comes to the national team.
Matiba, Kenya Ghana this afternoon.
I can predict a full-blown demolition of Kenya, because there is already precedence that was set. We've said 13-0, or what did you say, 32? And you can see this is a new team that has not played to together for they have just assembled young boys from different corners of the world. We need to have a team that has played together in that. For example, a team like Tottenham, they have played together for a very long time. They understand each other. But in Kenya, we keep on changing the team.
But
with the
these
season.
are professionals. Once they are called upon for international duty, the French national team was not in camp for 2 months, but they won the World Cup.
There is no professional football in East Africa. There is no professional football at all. We just have boys who are called to serve the nation at any time. We don't even know these boys. You look at England. Look at England. We have the structures. We have the clubs whereby the manager comes to watch the players. From watching someone play, that's how he picks his team. Yes. But in Kenya, we have tourists who come in as coaches and they pick. They just hear of people that we have a player playing in Australia, we have a player playing in Sweden, and just handpick them without watching them how they play, which style of play fits them better. You see,
it's a tough one for Kenya. Tupac, what do you say? Are you going to be patriotic, or Kenya is also doomed the days after that?
Okay, for this one, I'll try to be optimistic.
Yes.
Despite the fact that I told that the first time it was 13-2.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a tough one. Majorly because, first of all, in Kenya, we have to sort out our issues with the football. We have a lot of issues from the grassroots footballs to our top level of football. We have a lot of issues. After the games, you might hear some guys need to pay their own air transport to come for the games. There are no allowances paid. Those are the kind of things that demoralize the players. So we have to first of all sort out our issues.
According to the current federation of today, those ones we are done with. Now we are ready for the game. Fred, Kenya, Ghana, what do you think will happen?
Okay, I beg to differ with my fellow pundit here over the professionalism of the game.
Yes.
I think we do have a professional football in East Africa. The problem is maybe there are some interests, as we can say, in the game. But today, going against Ghana, you look at the Ghana national team.
Yes.
And then you look at the Kenyan national team. we have players who are playing outside there. The likes of Olunga. They're playing in Europe. Let's say Asia.
Yes.
Olunga is in Asia. But I think we have a small chance against Ghana, although it will be a hill for Kenya, because comparing the Kenyan football and the Ghanaian football, then you come to realize that the Ghanaian football is more advanced as compared to the Kenyan level, you know. Yeah. But we still have some professionalism in the game, I believe, in East Africa.
Before we hear the coach speak, Sebastian Mina, we are with him earlier, and he was going, when he named his squad and coming to play. Xavier, the impact of Victor Mugobe Wanyama not being on this side, how do you think it's going to affect the Kenyan side?
Yeah, it's a big blow for Kenya to lose Victor. I guess he's still not fit. I think Victor brings some professionalism in the team. He brings a balance in the midfield, and also is a captain who brings all the players together. So it's a big blow. Actually, I don't know who's going to lead the team today, and I don't think if there's any player, if David Owino was there, it could be a better captain. So it's a really big blow. And looking at the Ghanaian squad, it's really a tough squad for us.
We'll talk about the Ghanaian squad when we come back. But first of all, let's listen into the Kenyan coach Sebastian Migna on what he had to say, considering this is his first competitive match for Kenya, and it is against Ghana.
Try to have a good game tomorrow, to press well, and to give a good hope for the future for all the fans. We have some player absent also, not only Wanyama. We can add Mandela, Ayub, Paul Were, Mariga. It's not easy, but the player did a good job. With the knowledge we have about Ghana, we will see tomorrow if we are right or wrong, or if we are not at the level. We know since a long time Kenya didn't achieve a good result. It's far behind us, and but we'll try to give good hope for all the fans and for us. We will try to trap them and to have a victory, at least maybe 1 point. It's not easy to start with, for me, with Ghanaian team. I would prefer to start with Ethiopia or Sierra Leone first, but it's like that. Everything is possible in football. I think we are ready to fight all together. After maybe there's a different of level, we will see tomorrow. But my players give me some good things today, and we hope it will be the same tomorrow.
With football nowadays, like there are big clubs, big countries, like it's like 11v11 in the field. So yeah, we respect them for what they've achieved in African football, but tomorrow we are 11 players versus 11 players, so we have to show our qualities too. And I think as Kenyans too, it's time like we should be stepping up, and I think we are ready for it.
David Cheche Ocheng there will be manning the center back there today speaking, and also Sebastian Mingine, the Kenyan coach, there speaking today. He is one coach who is humble. Or how can you take it, Fred? Because he has come out and said, I could have been better with start with Ethiopia or Sierra Leone. He knows the Black Stars are no joke.
You know, and these coincides what we have been saying here. Going against the Black Stars is not an easy task. This is the first match for this guy, and then you bring him against the likes of the Asamoahs, the Amatis of Ghana, you know, and he has not really had that enough time to prepare this team as a team. Yes. You know, it's just called guys, come over, we have a game, you know. But going against Ghana, as he has said, is not an easy task, you know. He's expecting some baptism of fire, as I can put it. Yeah.
Actually, when you look at the Kenyan lineup here today, and the people are going to start today, there was a big conversation who was going to be Kenya 1, because we have got Boniface Oluoch, we have got Patrick Matasi of Tusker, we have got Ian Otieno of the Red Arrows in Zambia, and it has been a big conversation. But the coach has gone ahead to name Patrick Matasi in goal. He was the one who won the Sekafa here in Kenya, and also was his goalkeeper when Kenya went to the Intercontinental Cup in China. We have got Joaquin Satudo at fullback too. David Ocheng and Musa Mohammed are in the center, and Aboud Omar. A big miss there at the center back has to be David Calabawino and Brian Mandela of Maritzburg in South Africa. Matiba, yes. Now we've got David Cheche and Musa Mohammed. This is their first pairing today against Ghana. Could you have thought that Brian Mandela and David Calabawino could have been our best center backs?
Yes, David Calaba is, we know what he's capable of. We have seen him play against Nigeria, where he earned his name as Calaba. I've been following him closely in the Zambian league. He's a good player. Brian Mandela equally is a very good player. And I would wish that the pair could be available for selection today, but unfortunately we can't have him play today. But how I wish that the Kenyan Football Federation could invest in structures and in put in infrastructure to improve the players, like maybe set up talent academies in line with the ministry's manifesto, put in the proper structure so that whenever we miss players, we have players that can step in. Not that is afraid to meet Ghana. I understand that they beat us in all angles, on paper and in field, on the pitch. We shall lose it.
That's a big one for us today. But also, when I come to you, to Park, in our midfield setup today, we have got Kahata, Anthony Akumu, Joano Molo, and Eric John. Of all the 4 players, plays only Francis Kahata who plays for Gor Mahia in this team. That midfield of ours, what do you make of it? Is it capable enough to go against Quado or Samoa?
Yeah, I think they have a chance, because before the game starts we have to give each team a chance. So I think they stand a chance, a slim chance of competing against them. As I've said from before, we need to be optimistic.
Yeah.
Just be optimistic and hope it, because at times there is always an advantage of going into a game as an underdog. You are under no pressure, because once you go into a game as an underdog, you'll want to prove other guys wrong.
Yes.
So you'll even as the coach has said, a draw will be felt like a win. So
Yes.
I think, coming back to the question, I think it's going to be tough. Missing Wanyama is a very, and Kahata, as my fellow has said, is just back from an injury. So I don't think if he's 100% match fit, keeping in mind that Gor Mahia have played almost 9 games in August.
Yes.
That's an average of like 2-3 games per week.
Let me ask Xavier this question, because he was the one who brought in the Gor Mahia question here. But if you look at this team, there's only one Gor Mahia player, that is Francis Kahata. The other 3, Musa Mohammed, Anthony Akumu, and Michael Lunga, are former Gor Mahia players. So the national team is lucky. But the question could be, do you think Kenya is facing a soft Black Stars because we don't have Asamoah Gyan, we don't have the Andre Ayus of this world and also Ghana did not make it to the World Cup, did not make it to the Africa Cup of Nations, the previous edition. What do you make of the Ghana?
Teams like Ghana, Egypt, they do not need stars in their team. These teams are very well organized. They play like a unit. So teams like Ghana do not need a star like Ayu or anyone else. Actually, when you look at their last qualifiers, Ayu only played the last games. The other games they just played an average team, and
Yes.
they play a young team. So the only way, and Kahata, as I said, he has played a lot of games.
Yes.
So we are only going to use Kahata for the first 60 minutes. After 60 minutes, Kahata will be out of use. So we nearly have to utilize Kahata for the first 60 minutes. And we hope Olunga is on form, because I don't know where he went to play his play. How do you go from Spain, then you go to China? You're not developing as a player.
You know, there was a question, the Cameroonian national team coach, Clarence Seedorf, is now the national team coach of Cameroon, and he actually dropped Benjamin Mukanjo, and he is the Cameroon national team captain, and this is the reason he gave. A serious young player cannot play in China.
Yeah, you're actually 23. You're actually 23 or 24.
Yeah.
Why just be on the bench and keep growing?
Yes.
You'll get your chance. You're 23, 24. Or you'll go to China at 23. To do what?
Big question there about how our players are selected and how they change the clubs that they are going to play. Let's listen in to Kwesi Appiah, the Ghanaian national team coach, on what he had to say on his time here in Kenya, because he's the one leading the Black Stars in the dugout this afternoon.
Tomorrow is not going to be easy. We're playing against Kenya, and they have their home supporters behind them, and everyone is behind them. And we have always said that, modern game, there's no minnows in football. So we are coming out here to give them a very good game.
Kwesi Appiah there on his readiness for his team, the Black Stars of Ghana, going head-to-head against the Harambee Stars of Kenya this afternoon. When you look at the Ghanaian lineup today, they lack Asamoah Gyan, who was not called onto this team. But the biggest name that has come into this team has got to be Quado Asamoah, and Atletico Madrid, Thomas Partey, the striker, are in this team. After 4 years on a sabbatical and injuries, Quado Asamoah into this team. You remember him, Fred, when he was at Juventus and World Cup 2010. Quado Asamoah is a force to reckon with. How good is he going against Kenya?
Okay, I cannot really rate him against Kenya because he is from another class, you know.
Yeah.
This is a guy who has played for Juve, you know. He is going to bring this experience into the national team after such a long time.
Yes.
Although Asamoah Gyan has missed out of the team, they have a very, very good replacement up front, and I think the coach, the technical bench, I just read that it's the technical bench that has kicked him out of the team. So I think they had reasons, and they have very, very good replacements. Speaking of our Victor Mugubi, I think him missing out brings a challenge to the team. You know, we cannot always rely on Mugubi. Who will play when he's not around? You know, you get my point. So I think the players who are now coming into that midfield have a challenge to show what they can do, because now going forward, maybe we may have injuries such as now, and they have to play that role. So it brings a positive challenge into the team to see who can really replace Mugubi in that midfield.
Will you be happy because I've been told that Kwadwo Asamoah is starting from the bench? but Kwadwo Asamoah is just one.
Yes.
And we don't have Victor Mugubi, who has played in that kind of level, to counter this kind of player. But we also got Thomas Partey from Atletico Madrid. What do you think it brings to the Ghanaian side?
Thomas Partey is a very lethal striker. He's a very lethal striker, and he's coming up against some
Rookies.
some masqueraders as defenders, and I can only be that word because it will be very hard to tame that guy. That young man plays good football and is very lethal. He has the eye for the goal, and it will be very lucky on our side if the two pair will manage to tame him.
Tupac. We are talking about the Ghanaian players, and they are also coming onto the side. Daniel Opare is onto the side. Hudson Aful is returning. John Boy is on the team, and also starting this afternoon is a Newcastle forward, Christian Atsu. Will our defenders stop him?
Okay, Christian Atsu, as a Chelsea fan, I've known him for some time. Yeah, so I think the defenders are up to the task. Abu Domar is a well-known defender.
Yes.
He plays in Belgium, Sacco Bruges. We have Cheche, Musa Mohamed. I think those are, as you say, they are professionals.
Yes.
They have to stand up in the moment. This is your country, protect it. So I think they will do all their best. The same thing, I think, when Kenya played Nigeria, before Calabo got the name, he completely nullified Victor Moses, because that's where he got the name Calabar.
Yes.
So I think we are able to nullify Atsu.
We can work on this one and going on to win. Some of the big names that are in the Ghanaian team, we have got Richard Ofori from Maritzburg, South Africa. One thing about the Ghanaian team so far, there's no player playing from the Ghanaian Premier League. All the call-ups for this game are all from international friendlies. Good or bad?
It is a serious case. Because I'm wondering now, they're having a local coach.
Yes.
And he has not really picked any local player.
Yes.
In the nation. So it seems it shows that the coach is very serious about this match, and he only wants 3 points.
Yeah.
And what I can only hope that will save us is maybe the pitch can work on our side.
Right now, Kasarani is an international pitch.
The pitch and the weather.
And the weather.
Yeah.
They're also from the
But what I know, we have good defenders, but what the Kenyan team is passing through right now is what even Manchester United is passing through.
Yeah.
These players are not playing together, they are not gelled together. So the defenders are good professional defenders, but they have not played together. And we have not had some good friendlies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your last word on Kenya Ghana this afternoon. What can you tell Kenyans?
Ghana 3-0 by halftime.
Ghana 3-0 by halftime.
Yes.
Tupac. That's a tough one, eh? 3-0 by halftime. Wow. Tupac.
Okay, for this game, I think I'm going to give it 2-0 to Ghana.
Full game.
Full time.
Wow.
2-0.
Matiba.
As I said earlier, it will be a full-blown demolition, and I hope maybe as Kahata as the creative ingredient, he'll turn up today and play very good football, because we also need to attack, so that we can minimize the damage on the other side.
Yes.
We need to attack, and if we park the bus, we'll be red carded maybe, and we'll be given more than 13.
Yeah.
Nil this time.
What can be your score, your final score?
Final score maybe it will be 6-0.
Wow. Man. 3-0 halftime, 6-0 final score.
That's a full-blown demolition.
Yeah.
Okay, I give it Kenya scoring first.
Yeah.
But then we will end up losing the game. Maybe a 3-1 to Ghana.
Well, it's a big one here. 6-0 full time, 3-0 half time, 2-0 the end of the game, 3-1. It's the one who is only saying Kenya can get a goal. Let's see what the Football Kenya Federation President Nick Mwendo had to say on his rallying call for fans to get into the stadium and cheer the Harambee Stars, and also the security measures that have been put in place for this Africa Cup of Nations qualifier.
Tell Kenyans that despite a few injuries, our team is upbeat, done very well, fantastic training and coaching that has been going on. A lot of work, although we have a few injuries, but the team has assured me that they are ready to go for tomorrow. Tickets will be sold at Kenya Cinema, opposite Safari Park, and at Kasarani Gate 4. And gate 12. It's very important. Gate 4 and gate 12 is the only place you will find the tickets. Kenya Cinema from morning at around 8 a.m. in the morning, and right opposite Safari Park, when you get off the matatu, there'll be a booth there selling the tickets. So please ensure that you have your ticket. If you come to Kasarani and you do not have your ticket, proceed to gate 4 and gate 12. Do not go to other gates if you do not have a ticket. All right? If you're coming to Kasarani with your family, with your friends, be peaceful. Do not disrupt others. We want to be clear, very clear about security, because it is paramount for tomorrow. This is a Class A CAF game. This is a Class A game. And therefore, security will be top-notch. Bring your family and your children, no problem. We will have the GSU and the dog unit will be here, and so we'll also have an uniformed policeman in the crowd. Expect that if you cause any trouble, you will be picked up and you'll be put away. I want to be very clear today. If you bring any trouble to Kasarani tomorrow, you will be picked and you will go to court on Monday. We are not going to take chances with anyone. We'll pick you up. There will be police vehicles waiting for you. We will take you to the police station, and on Monday we shall follow through and make sure you are arraigned in court for whatever offense you would have done. So no one will be manhandled. Bring your family, enjoy, buy your ticket, sit, watch Kenya play. After the game, proceed slowly and exit the stadium. I want to plead to all Kenyans to come and enjoy. Football is about fun. Come and enjoy. Tomorrow, we have prepared the team well. We have given the team all it needs. The gates are going to open at 10 a.m. in the morning, so do not come before 10. The gates will open at 10 a.m. in the morning.
Have you guys what a tight security plan, or is it just rhetoric to get people to the stadium?
Thank you. Thank you. you guys.
Kenya is not the only team that will be playing this afternoon. Kenya will be going against Ghana at 4 p.m. But we have also other matches at the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, the second round so far. Some of those matches we've got Comoros versus Cameroon at 5 p.m. and this will be the first match for Clarence Seedorf in Cameroon and Patrick Kluivert. Do you think Seedorf will make a difference for Cameroon?
Of course, why not? I think he's going for a win and he will get it. Cameroon will turn out to be much stronger than the Comoros, you know. So I think he'll bring in that difference, that experience that he has, and I think he's going for the 3 points this afternoon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Matibo, what do you make of Clarence Seedorf as the indomitable Lions coach?
Clarence Seedorf is going to elevate the football in Cameroon because we have seen what they are capable of. They have a very young team, an ambitious young team, and right now they have a coach in the shape of Seedorf who played in Europe and is a very good player. How I hope he can bring in what he used to do on the pitch
as a player.
Yes. And instill that in the players in Cameroon.
Yeah. Other matches will be Seychelles versus Nigeria at 5:30 p.m. Tupac, Nigeria, very good showing at the World Cup, even if they lost it at the group stages. Seychelles, do they have the mantle to go against Nigeria?
I don't think so. Nigeria is a very good team. They have a group of players who have played together for some time. They know each other. They have been together. They only been apart for like a month or 2 months from the World Cup. The likes of even though Victor Mosso is retired, but I'm sure they have a replacement. They have the likes of Iwobi. I think Seychelles don't stand a chance against Nigeria.
It will be an East African derby in Uganda, Nambole Stadium. Uganda versus Tanzania, 4 p.m.
Uganda will win. Uganda have always been having a good team, so they'll definitely win.
Yeah, I've already given them that chance.
Yeah, they'll win. Just to talk about the Cameroon coach, I've always been a believer of a coach who was once a player. You are really able to relate to the player as well.
Yes.
So Cameroon will win, Nigeria will win, and Uganda will win. Do Tanzania really have players? I don't know.
Musicians. They have musicians.
You are used to listening to Bongo. You don't follow their football.
But their local league is good, but nationally
they don't think they are good enough.
That's the problem of buying a lot of players from outside to bring in your local team.
Well, other matches this afternoon will be South Africa versus Libya. Then we have got Namibia versus Zambia, Mozambique versus Guinea-Bissau, Equatorial Guinea versus Sudan, Gabon versus Burundi, Gambia versus Algeria, then Mauritania versus Burkina Faso, Egypt versus Niger, and then Morocco versus Malawi. This is the second group stage matches of the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, and Kenya will be playing against Ghana at 4 p.m. in Kasarani. Since 2004, we have not made it to the Africa Cup of Nations. This time round, it will be in Cameroon. Can Kenya make it to Cameroon in 2019? On this edition of Know Your Sport today, we touch on a very new game here in Kenya, and that is baseball. In the United States of America, Cuba, and some parts of Asia, it's a very religious pastime when it comes to sports. But here in Kenya, it is something new. Today, we'll learn what baseball is all about.